What's up, everybody? I'm here with Tony Kemp of the Oakland A's. Tony is you're probably on the level of co-host now at the amount of time I've had you I've had you on. So thank you as always for being so approachable, so humble, and obviously just a great guy to talk with. So today I wanted to talk to you about the plus one effect. Number one. Maybe we can start there. Just tell me about how this came to be. I know George Floyd's murder was an impetus for a lot of change, and I think this is an awesome thing you got going. So tell the people what's going on here.
Yeah, so after the Floyd murder, man, I was a little depressed. I was down in the dumps. There's probably a day or two, probably it was like a Monday or Tuesday, I think it was the beginning of the week, where I just didn't get out of bed until 2 or 3 p.m. Just processing everything that happened with the Floyd murder. And just down in the dumps. And, once I got back to the kitchen and got myself back up, I kind of just sent a tweet out there, just, hey, if anybody wants to talk, I know it's been a tough week. Don't hesitate to ask me, or if you want to be more informed about the situation, I'm here to talk. And, when you send something out like that, you don't know what kind of response it's going to get. And I mean, man, I think I had me and my wife, we responded over 125 to 150 people through Twitter and Instagram. And yeah, they're very positive, man. And that kind of led into a Zoom call with my uncles, my brother, cousins, and some nephews. All Black men in America. It was about 12, 13 of us. And my uncle called a Zoom call, and he's pretty much just asked, hey, I think we need to go on a call and pretty much talk about all these issues that are going on in America right now. And the Zoom call was about 4.5, 5 hours.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was powerful. There were some tears in there. It was just a bunch of guys being able to just let loose and express how they felt with everything going on. And my uncle, he's an engineer in St. Louis, very intelligent guy. And he's like, yeah, we just need to, be able to change, one person at a time. Maybe it's like a domino effect, maybe it's almost like a plus one effect. And kind of when he said that, I was like, man, that is such a small concept, but encompasses so many things. And so I called him a couple days later. I'm like, hey, man, would you mind if I had a campaign with this and kind of ran with it? And he's like, I don't care who it comes from. I just wanted to get out into the world. So got with the team, and we got with this plus one effect of just if we can change one person's perspective on, how we're feeling in America, and that person can change someone else's perspective, that's when you can start to see change. And that's where the plus one effect started.
Yeah. As we wade through all of the information and all of the things being thrown at us, it's overwhelming. I mean, it's just a lot of what's going on right now. Pandemic, this racial movement. It's overwhelming, and it can feel like, what can I do? What's my purpose in this? How can I create a systemic change in America? It's probably not. We can get to actually what you're doing in Oklahoma, but for most people, it's really overwhelming, and you don't know what to do, and you want to help, but
and mostly what I tell people is, I am a white suburban male or female. How can I help? I feel like I'm so distant from this, and it's I just tell people, hey, it starts with your inner circle. It starts with the people who you are closest with. And, I just tell people, hey, you're going to have to be okay with losing friends, because some people don't want to be challenged, and they want to continue to have those, microaggressive jokes that, if Black people aren't around and there's not people to defend what they say, you're going to have to be the one that steps in and say, hey, that's not cool. And they might come back with, well, hey, what's your problem? What's wrong? And you might lose some friends, and that's going to be okay. But that at least you stood up for the right cause.
I've been in conversations exactly like what you're talking about in the last couple of weeks. So The plus one effect definitely resonates with me.
Awesome.
What's the cause like behind the plus one effect? I think there's a charitable cause as well.
Yeah, so actually for the whole month of June, it's going towards Campaign Zero, which actually is defunding police violence. And that was dealt with Breaking T, and they had this whole month long campaign. So we just decided to add to that, man.
And so that's on breakingt.com. The plus one effect shirt is available on breakingt.com.
Correct.
Yeah.
And going toward a great cause. I just think that situations can be de-escalated, without severe violence and hurt to someone. Obviously I'm not on the front lines and I'm not out there doing that, but I think it's a positive way for people to understand that we're just here to help, and we're excited about it.
Yeah. And another thing I wanted to talk about, this plus one effect. I mean, this is more than just plus one. I think you did more than just one on this thing in Tulsa with the governor. So tell me how this came about and like what happened.
Man, it's been a crazy last 2 weeks, Mike. I mean, dude, it's been wild. I've been the busiest guy without a job I think I've ever seen. But this Tulsa massacre in 1921.
Yeah, tell me about that. Tell me about that first. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's called Black Wall Street, and it was made up of all Black people and pretty much just a bunch of businesses that were white people came and they killed a bunch of Black people and pretty much destroyed all their establishments in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. And there was a bombing in that specific spot as well. And this whole event had actually been swept under the rug, I feel like, in our curriculums, in our history. And that's when I kind of sent out a tweet. I tried to send it from like a genuine place, just, hey, hope somebody can help me with this. Is this being taught in today's history books? And I sent that on June 14th, and it was at night. And people were saying wild things. Like, I had never heard of this. I grew up in Tulsa. What is this? Had about 185 retweets, 250 comments of people just mind blown, of saying like, oh, it was mentioned one time, or I saw it on Watch Me on HBO, and it was mind blowing. So I'm like, okay, I feel like this is the time to like do something with this. So I actually ran into a senator from Oklahoma and reached out to him, Langford, and I said, hey, would you mind discussing the situation with me whenever you had a chance? And man, the cool thing was the next day, his team got a hold of me and said, hey, Senator Langford's traveling, but I'm here to talk to you. What are the questions you want to know? And I just said, hey, like, I want to know, is this going to be a part of the curriculum? Because this is a huge event, a huge massacre that is being swept under the rug. And, he agreed and he said, yes, it's in the works. And I feel like my objective calling was to make sure if it wasn't going to be implemented in the curriculum of the next year, what are our next steps? And so he actually agreed and said in the 2020 curriculum, it is going to be implemented into school districts in Oklahoma, man. So that's like a huge leap forward. Now, I know that's going to be in the curriculum, but how deep is it going to be in the curriculum? Is it going to be, oh, here's a worksheet, or, oh, here's a project, or here's a test about it? Like, obviously, in my opinion, I feel like when you do a project on something, it rings the most value because you actually have to put time and effort into something like that, and it sticks with you. I still remember my 5th grade project of what ice holds better in what container, styrofoam, glass, or plastic, and it was styrofoam. So like that is why I'm like, yeah. So I want to know how deep it's going to be, but yeah, man, we're definitely moving in the right direction. And I had the Texas senator reach out to me yesterday and wanted to get on a call too. So if we can get it in the Texas school, yeah, man. So it's just flying. And then my next goal is to get it into Tennessee. And so if we can just move state by state and I visit these places and have a talk with these people in the off season and just say, hey, like, this is a big deal. We need to focus on this. Like, that's where we need to go.
Yeah, man, that's really, really exciting because, you can feel pretty helpless in this situation, in dealing with politicians and just how far away and how impossible that seems, and to hear actual progress being made. And also, it feels like, we teach the Holocaust and awful things that happened
Prime example.
so far away because we don't want to repeat those things, but we don't teach things that happened under our government, in our country, like that. I mean, it's an obvious miss. So it's so good to hear that, people are actually owning up to these things and adding them into the to teach young people that, like, this can't happen again.
It can't. Yeah. So it's exciting. We're moving in the right direction, man. It's I don't see myself as much of an activist, but here we are.
Man, you got to do what you got to do. It's just so cool to, to see the world, like, as big as it is. Like, Twitter makes it smaller, and you can hit these people up, and with your, with your fame, be it what it may, like, you're able to make a change, and then you kind of gotta shoulder that burden a little bit. And I'm very very proud to have you as my co-host. That's for sure.
Oh, hey, I'll take co-host all day on this show, dude. Like I said, man, it's cool to see where you started your company and where it's come from now, and how many people follow you, dude. It's inspiring, man.
Thanks, Tony. That is a complete and total, just not even close to what you're doing. So thank you. I appreciate it. And so breakingt.com.
Yeah.
Where people can get a t-shirt. Is there anything else, any other websites or anything else that you think that people should try to visit?
Yeah, you can actually, you just go to my Twitter, Instagram, all that. The links are all in my bios, and I take you right to the shirts. They're available in youth sizes now too, so that's huge for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just hashtag +1 PLUS, the number 1, and then effect. And man, it's been great. I think we've sold over 200 shirts in 2 days. So
wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
all right. I told
those guys.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good, bro. I just said I told Breaking T to get those printing presses hot because these things are gonna be flying.
Yeah, well, we'll be sharing as much as I possibly can. So thank you very much for the time, Tony. I appreciate it.
Mike, dude, let's do it again. Hey, if you ever want me to be co-hosted again, let me know.
All right, man.